So you've got the audience here. See them?
I'm sure never get in front of Sam.
Yeah, you need it.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you're hiding more. Alright, so we can get back.
Okay.
Alright.
You were hiding
we are
Cindy
missing one.
perfectly.
Alright, so we use yeast to prepare our bread and wine, molds and bacteria in fermenting cheeses and yogurt, and we even ferment raw meats to make salami, which makes them safe to eat. Some of these organisms have also contributed to our medical knowledge, providing antibacterial drugs and information about the body itself. The microbes in our food products are actually invaluable to our health, to the manufacture of these products, and to many cultures throughout the world. Although we have not understood the machinations of these processes until recently, we have been using them for thousands of years. Archaeologists find evidence of brewing in the oldest civilizations we know of, and believe that alcoholic drinks are some of the first and most important agricultural products of early civilizations. Beer was a staple drink of ancient Egypt, as was bread a staple food, which was used as an ingredient in beer production as a source of the yeast and the sugars. Alcoholic beverages were important to many civilizations in antiquity simply because the alcohol itself is toxic to many organisms, including the yeast. Beer was thus sterile and safe to consume, sometimes more so than the local water sources. The yeast itself is a very special and very interesting organism. Today we use many strains of yeast to brew alcohol and leaven bread, but most of these strains are the same species, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. All yeast are single-cellular fungi which metabolize simple sugars, producing alcohol and carbon dioxide as waste products. Both of these products remain in beer, whereas in bread the alcohol boils away and the carbon dioxide is responsible for the large pores that develop in the bread. There are also strains of yeast and bacteria which can inhabit brewing vats and produce acidic and lactic acids respectively, which give specialty drinks like lambic a sour taste. In the production of sake, rice is introduced to koji mold, which breaks down the starches of the rice into simple sugars that yeast can metabolize. Yeast is not the only fungus of import to food production, though. For many centuries, we have also made cheeses with molds. Cheese production itself predates recorded history, just as bread and beer do, but the inclusion of molds or bacteria to ferment it are not necessarily part of the production. Cheese that do include microbes generally arise from cooler climates where less preservatives and salt are necessary. Today, cheeses that include microbes may be ripened from the exterior inwards by applying microbes to the exterior of the prepared cheeses, such as in Camembert, Limburger, or Munster, or internally by introducing the small, still loosely pressed curds to a mold before ripening, such as in blue cheeses. Molds of the genus Penicillium are present in some of these processes, as are bacteria. So, similarly, yogurt is produced by bacterial fermentation of milk. Recently, some brands such as Activia also implant an additional bacterial culture into the final product as a probiotic, which they claim helps to regulate digestion. Microbes can also be found in the preparation and storage of salami, we have here, which are prepared directly from raw meats. The salami is made safe to eat by the presence of salts, acids, lack of water, and the presence of nitrates and nitrites. Bacterial cultures are often added directly to the salami before it is hung to ferment and later dry, while white mold, or flour, including penicillium mold, is often used to cover the casing, preventing sunlight from making the meat rancid. Within the last 2 centuries, however, microbes have become less ambiguous additions to food preparation from unknown sources, and more valuable to modern medicine. One species of penicillium, Penicillium chrysogenum, is a source of the important antibacterial drug penicillin. While other members of the genus produce similar compounds, they are not all as useful for this application. Returning to yeasts, the standard brewing and baking yeast, Cerevisiae, is an instrumental model organism for researching eukaryotic cell structure and function. It was the first organism to have its genome sequenced and has been used to study how we age. Researchers are even using cultured microbes to manufacture drugs themselves, and the list of potential uses grows every day. So we use them as tools to make our finest dining experiences and to save our lives. Our microbial companions who bring rot to our food and drink are invaluable to our society, have been for all of recorded history, and our relationship with these organisms will more than likely continue to grow even stronger.